Well, welcome to Handmade Talks, a new video interview series where we get to know people who have been important to Handmade by Friendship Bridge on a deeper level. This is our very first episode, and with us today is Constancia Leshin. Constancia lives in California, where she founded the Antelope Valley Friendship Circle 16 years ago. For listeners who might be not familiar, our friendship circles are small groups of volunteers who raise awareness and funds for Friendship Bridge through creative events in their local communities. They often sell Handmade by Friendship Bridge products made by our artisans in Guatemala in order for our artisans to earn more profits and also so a wider audience can get to know our work of empowering women and eliminating poverty. Welcome, Constancia.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for being our guinea pig on our very first episode.
I'm happy to do it.
Great. So I'll just jump right in. I've prepared some questions for you. Can you start by telling us what was your impetus for starting the Antelope Valley Friendship Circle?
Well, that's interesting. I fell in love with Guatemala in 1972 and 1976. That was when the horrific civil war was taking place, which I was completely unaware of. When I realized what was going on after 1976, I decided not to go back because it was just too dangerous. Until I had a wake-up call in 2006. I had an operation on my arm and I had to have general anesthesia. And when I came out of anesthesia, I realized that one thing I had to do was to go back to Guatemala with a purpose, to symbolically thank the women who had given me so much beauty in textiles, because I love wearing huipiles throughout my life. And so either I found Friendship Bridge online one night or it found me. And that was it. It was an instant love affair. So I went to Guatemala with an insight trip. Nancy Heister was the circle, not the circle, but the trip leader. And I did a bit of translating for her. And when I came back, I realized that I had to start a circle. So I contacted some of my friends who were kindred spirits and some of whom had been to Guatemala. And I said, let's start a circle. So we did. And the year after, 2007, we had our first fundraiser that featured Dr. Art Uline, who used to be the national medical correspondent on the Today Show. Mm-hmm. So I think we raised $4,000 or $5,000 that year. It was at the Antelope Valley Country Club. And yeah, so that's how we started.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. What has been a favorite memory with your friendship circle that stands out to you? Either a fun memory or a serious memory.
No, it's a heartwarming memory. I remember standing in the room, this big room at the Antelope Valley Country Club, and looking out at the audience and thinking to myself, oh my God, we made this happen. We are spreading the word and the mission. And look at all the people that are here to learn about Friendship Bridge and to support us. And I almost got teary-eyed, I think. That was the first of fundraisers that we held in that room until COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Long time.
Can you talk about one of our artisans that has made an impact on you that you've met?
Oh, I'd have to talk about Doña Santos. Doña Santos is someone who's very near and dear to me, and she's one of the first artisans that I met before Handmade was in existence. It was the Artisan Access Market Program. I think that's what it's called. And I met Santos. I took a picture actually of her with her mother and her grandmother. And I heard her story about how she was from an abusive marriage, about how she decided that she needed to support her family the best way she could. And she knew how to weave, and she found Friendship Bridge, and all the dots connected because she could learn about quality control and about color combinations and all those things. And I watched her bloom. That's the best way to put it. I watched her bloom over the years until she stood up in front of a huge group of people to receive second place in the Citibank Awards. I don't know the exact name of it. And I watched this confident woman unrecognizable to the woman that I knew at the beginning, stand up and with a strong voice speak to all the people in the room, a lot of foreigners. And she spoke with confidence and she spoke with tremendous conviction. And I so admire her, Doña Santos.
Yeah. Well, thank you. What's a project or event that your circle has worked really hard on, and what was the result?
Well, I would have to go back and tell you that it's our yearly gala at the Antelope Valley Country Club. So we started out with Dr. Art Uline, and then we had Bert Rutan and Gina Yeager. They are the people that flew around the world nonstop in an ultralight, I think it was. And Dick, who is a staunch Republican, came to talk to everybody in attendance that evening. And I thought to myself, I really need to emphasize that Friendship Bridge is a great way for people to stay in their country and not have to come here as undocumented people and face the challenges that they face. So he was convinced, and I think he donated a sizable chunk to that evening. Then we had really a lot of fun with subsequent fundraisers. Although they were a lot of work, they were a lot of fun. We did a couple years night in Oaxaca, and we sold Tipica, and the caterer then at the Antelope Valley Country Club was fabulous, a longtime friend of mine. And then we started doing our signature event, which was Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. And we set up a long, big ofrenda, an altar, and decorated it and invited our guests to come and put pictures of their loved ones who had died on the ofrenda. We had a full-on meal from southern Mexico and Guatemala, and we had nearly 100 people at each of these fundraisers.
Wow.
And then COVID hit. And that was it for those fundraisers. So now we don't do those anymore. We do Tipica sales, many Tipica sales. And we speak in various places, venues, groups of people. And that's how we raise money these days. But I'm so proud.
Go back.
I have to tell you how proud I am of my circle. Mm-hmm. These ladies they're the best. They're the best. And although we don't live near each other anymore, because I live in Santa Paula, an hour and a half away from the Antelope Valley, we are still together. We are still one circle, and we are still successful, determined to fulfill our mission of raising funds and awareness for Friendship Bridge.
Thank you. So kind of a lighter question. This month at Handmade, we're focusing on the theme of appreciation on social media, and we're asking people to share stories, just things about Friendship Bridge that they appreciate. What's something in your day-to-day life that you appreciate right now?
My health. My health. I was pruning plants on my front driveway 2 days after my birthday at the end of May, and I took a step back and I tripped and landed squarely on my hip. And I ended up cracking it and bending it. And I got taken to the emergency room, and I ended up with a complete hip replacement. My hip was fine before all of this. Anyway, I've recovered pretty quickly, and I'm back to doing yoga and walking and a little Pilates. And so every day when I get up, I'm so appreciative. My friend Kathy kids me. She tells me that she doesn't want to hear me say anymore how grateful I am. But I am so grateful to be mobile and not in any pain. And yeah, my health.
I agree. That's can't get any better than that for sure. Right. What is one of your favorite handmade items that you've purchased in Guatemala?
Oh, I don't know that I could.
You got a few over the years?
I think that I have to tell you that I have a few. First of all, the scarves that Elena does are absolute. Yes, you're wearing one.
I am, and we didn't plan this. I happened to wear Elena's scarf because it matched my blouse today.
Elena is such a talented weaver in San Juan La Laguna. And I love I love what she weaves and what the people that she works with weave. So I would have to say she is one of my favorite artisans. Certainly Senora Santos with her bags and her weavings. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
that's
can't
all
just
right.
say one. Root and Juana, aprons and pot holders. I use the pot holders from those two ladies every day, and aprons very often. Let me think if I can think of someone else here. Olga, the Constancia necklace. I took a necklace down to Guatemala one year, and Olga was able to make a copy of it, and Handmade is still offering it on the website. It's the Constancia necklace.
Oh, that's great. I wish I had, I'm here in our store in our Lakewood, Colorado office, and I wish I had it in front of me. It's
I should
probably
have
on the wall.
I should have brought it. I should have
Oh,
brought it
that's all
with
right.
me. So yeah, those four artisans I'm thinking of offhand.
Yeah. So some of our listeners may not know that you are also a volunteer writer and translator for Kiva, an organization that works closely with Friendship Bridge, that connects people to investment opportunities. What has kept you volunteering with Friendship Bridge all these years?
It's my calling. It's really a gift when you know what your calling is. And I'm able to to maximize my experience and my education and my passion to do this work. Um, so for your listeners that don't know, Kiva is a worldwide organization. It's an umbrella organization, microfinance, that exists in 74 countries. Friendship Bridge is a field partner for Kiva in Guatemala. Caitlin Scott at Friendship Bridge decided one year, I think it was 2011, 2012, I don't remember, that I should translate a story for Kiva about one of our clients. So I did. Well, that one story has turned into probably 40 stories every month.
Wow.
And I work with
A month.
a month.
Oh my goodness.
And I work with a very dear, wonderful old friend named Pinnell Curtis on these reports. And every time I do one, which takes me about 20 minutes to write, I've become a better writer from writing these reports. We receive the information in Spanish from our little team in Guatemala, Alejandra and Letty. We transform it into a captivating story. We send it back to Guatemala. They upload it on the Kiva website. And last year, as a result of our little team efforts, we raised nearly $3 million.
Wow. That's amazing.
I don't usually think in terms of millions of dollars.
Wow.
And every time, Lydia, that I do one of these stories, I am with that woman in Guatemala who is voiceless, maybe with no education, who needs to have that loan. And so I have to present her and her trust bank in the best way possible, the most positive, illuminating light possible. And it's not like work to me. It's like, I love to do it. I mean, what's better than working at something that's it's your passion?
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. All right, final question. What advice do you have for younger women who are just starting their careers or building their businesses right now?
Find something that makes your heart sing. Find something that speaks to your spirit. Find something that resonates with you, that you can pour your passion and your education and your experience into, and then go for it. Don't don't stop. Be determined. Be courageous. Be bold. That's the best advice I can give. And carpe diem each day. Seize the day. That's my mantra.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, that brings me to the end of my questions, and thank you for being our very first Handmade Talks interview. There will be more to come throughout the year, so Thank you so much.
Oh, Lydia, thank you. Thank you very much.
It was great.